What's up? What's up? We are live. This is Get Your Angle Sports, and we are checking out college football. We have a heck of a week that just passed us by, and we're already looking to the next week. What is it, 3 or 4?
I think it's technically week 3.
Is it week 3? No, I think it's week 4. I think we're going on to week 4.
Well,
But
it kind of they have the week 0, which kind of like half the teams play, or like only a certain amount of teams play. But yeah,
yeah,
I think it's week 3/4. But for most teams, it's week 3
yeah, okay.
or it's 4. I
Well,
don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
technically, it says we're going into week 4. So let's check that out. Let's check out the top 25 real quick and go over what has changed in this. But anything right off the bat that really surprised you with this college football week? Anything that were you looking forward to this last week?
This past week, the only game that I was really looking forward to was the Kansas State Arizona game, and Kansas State just bullied Arizona. Arizona did not look ready. They scored the first drive of the game, but after that, they just didn't look good.
Yeah, that turned into a big flood.
Yeah, they were very disappointing, and it's like because I know they their whole coaching staff basically left to Washington, but
Yeah.
they didn't bring it, dude. I was like, oh, you're at Kansas State, it's you're in the Big 12, it's a big game, and they looked super flat, dude, and they had a whole bunch of penalties. They looked like garbage, and then yeah, for the most part, that was like the main game I was looking forward to. But Saturday, I was like, yeah,
okay, good.
Saturday I watched the games, but there was none I was like super invested into. I was watching more of the UFC fights.
Yeah, which was an interesting card. I think just basically at the top of the card was the more interesting. But we have Texas at number 1. Are you happy with that? Them jumping Georgia without any big win?
Well, they beat Michigan. Georgia struggled against Kentucky for basically the whole game, so I don't have a problem with it. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter since Texas, they're gonna play Oklahoma. I think they play Bama, and then it's all gonna figure itself out.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not the point. They did the same thing last year when they jumped Georgia, pissing Georgia off and making them even better. But I hate that they jumped teams that didn't lose or had a slower performance, or I mean, Georgia played Kentucky. Of course, that's going to be it shouldn't be a super tough game, and it wasn't too good of them the way they won, but they did win the game. And Texas played UTSA, who they should destroy. It's a
Yeah,
local game, nothing special. So I don't know. I don't think you should jump over someone because of that.
yeah. I'm like, it is what it is. I don't care. Eventually, it's gonna get all figured out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure even Texas doesn't want this. They don't want to piss off Georgia until the very end. You know what I mean? But I was looking at some of these schedules like Georgia's, and gosh dang, they're going to play a bunch of teams like Ole Miss. Well, the fact that the SEC is so heavy, I don't know how many teams are going to make the tournament at the end, but you're going to eliminate a lot of these teams just through conference play, right?
Well, yeah, because so in a couple weeks, Texas plays Oklahoma. They usually play at like a neutral site, and after
Yeah.
that, they play at home versus Georgia. So whoever's the real number 1, it's gonna get decided. So that's why I'm like, it is. Yeah, in Georgia they play Bama, they play at Bama, they play at Georgia, and I think they
Yeah.
play at Ole Miss. Georgia's got a heck of a schedule, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Not only Georgia, I mean, it's everyone. Everyone
Yeah,
has like a heck of a schedule. I was looking at the Mississippi State schedule and I was like, oh Lord, have mercy. That's not good. And pretty much everyone in the SEC is going to face somebody who's like killer
yeah.
to be killed.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. So Georgia has a
Yeah.
bye, but next week they play at Bama.
Okay.
Then they play at home versus Auburn. I guess that's a cakewalk. At home versus Mississippi State. Then they play at Texas. Then they play Florida, and they play at Ole Miss. And then after that, they play at home versus Tennessee. That's
Yeah.
so they're yeah. It's the SEC is everyone's just playing each other, dude.
Yeah. And they're going to,
Especially with the expanded playoff. Everyone just they just everyone's playing each other.
yeah. So how many teams do you think make the top 20? I mean, the tournament, the 12-team tournament.
From the SEC. So let's say one gets it automatically. So there's 8 spots. I'd say four.
Wow, that's insane because oh my gosh, if you do that, how can you even put some of these lower schools in there if you're putting 4 teams? That's rough.
Yeah, because whoever wins the ACC, they get their in, which is either going to be, I guess it's going to be Miami, I guess, and then the Big Ten. I think it's probably going to be Ohio State, and I think
Yeah,
Oregon, Penn State could get in.
yeah.
It's just
NIU,
yes.
do they get in?
Well, technically right now, yeah, NIU would get in. They're the highest ranked non
Non-top four,
power.
top four.
Yeah, yeah. So technically, they would get in.
You know what? Why don't you go out and come back in? It's doing that stupid clicking thing again. I don't know why it does that, but every time you go out and then come back in, it just fixes it. I don't know why,
All
but
right.
yeah, just pop out for a second. So what we're looking at right now is the top 25. Obviously, we got Texas jumping over Georgia and taking that number 1 spot. What do you think in the chat? Is that something that you think is well deserved? I mean, they did have. Let's talk about Texas. Wait, was this the game with Archie Manning? Yeah, it was, huh?
Yeah. Where what's his name? What's his name? Quinn Ewers. He got hurt, and I think he hurt
Yeah,
his like abs or something like that. And then
yeah,
little man, he came in and started balling. Yeah, it was
yeah.
against a garbage team, but he looks like he's more athletic than the other Mannings, which is kind of surprising.
Is that? I mean, the other Mannings aren't really, the epitome of athleticism, right?
Yeah, but I'd expect this guy to have no athleticism, and like he rushed for like a 70-yard touchdown run. I don't think the
Yeah,
other Mannings can run 70 yards without someone beating the crap out of them.
that's for sure. Yeah, no, you're not going to get that from Peyton. That's for sure. What was his 40 time? Do you even remember?
Oh, right, dude. He probably runs as fast as an offensive lineman, if I had to guess.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. What do you think his 40 time is? If
It's like a
I
four
had to look it up.
in his prime.
Yeah.
I'd say like 4.8, 4.9.
Manning. But anyways, what do you think about Ohio State?
They're freaking stacked, dude. They're just playing cupcakes right now, but
So
offensively, defensively, they're
yeah.
I think they're gonna win the Big Ten.
Well, they didn't have much of a game. Obviously, Western Michigan didn't put up a fight. They didn't have the same problems that Notre Dame did. Wait, what division is Western Michigan in? I don't even know the name of that division.
The MAC maybe?
Is that
Are
the
they in the
MAC?
MAC?
It might be the MAC. I'm not sure, but it seems like the MAC. I feel like it's the MAC, but I never see them on Tuesday, so I don't know if it is the MAC. Division.
Or Conference USA. I know that's a conference.
Yeah, but Conference USA is Western Kentucky, right?
Freak. After all these changes, I don't know who's and who.
Okay, so it is in the division, but yeah, they pretty much took them out. It's the Mid America, so
Oh, the Mid American Conference.
yeah, Mid American Conference, exactly. So basically, what we're looking at is a 56-0 destruction, and if that's not the first half, I would be surprised. But that's what it pretty much seems like. That's how they do it. You want to make those bets on the first half of like a Bama or something like that. And next week, Ohio State plays Marshall. So they got themselves a old school Michigan schedule. And then both Georgia and Bama have a bye. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh, what's smart? They're like, oh, we're playing Georgia. Oh, we're playing Bama. Let's get a
Yeah,
bye, and they're both
ex-
going to be prepared for that game.
exactly. No, they're going to be prepared and then some. It's going to be fun. We're going to get to see these teams at their best. They're going to be ready for the tournament. They'll be healthy. And as far as I see, Ohio State has a lot of depth, as they usually do. What do you think about the quarterback? I haven't really got to see him play too much because Ohio State hasn't played anybody worth watching.
Well, Will Howard, he's the Kansas State quarterback. I liked him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought he was good at Kansas State.
Yeah.
But even then, their one quarterback they had last year, Kyle McCord, who is at
Yeah.
Syracuse right now. That dude's
Yeah.
balling.
Yeah. He's
Hey,
balling too.
yeah, he's looking good. I guess without the Ohio State pressure, he's looking good.
Illinois too. They made the top 25. They're sitting at number 24 with a win over Central Michigan, a big win over Central Michigan. So, I
Well,
mean,
they play Nebraska on Friday, I think.
yeah. Let's see. So Illinois, yep, they're going to play Nebraska. So you got the top 25. I really think that's the reason that they're in the top 25 is because you want to get these matchups for TV where it's 22 versus 24. So
Especially
I
on a
think that's
Friday.
yeah, that'll get them some views. It's like, throw them in the top 25. Let's see if they do well. But it'll get us a good
Yeah.
ranking because especially for the casual fan, once they see those ranking numbers in front of it, they get more interested. So
Yeah. Well, Illinois did beat Kansas, so
well, they were in the top 25. I guess they were at 24 last week. I didn't even notice if that's the case, but it doesn't say they moved up any. Isn't this their first time in the top 25? I don't remember seeing them last week.
I don't think they were. I think this is the first time.
Oh, well, it doesn't say they moved up or anything. It says NIU moved up 2 spots, but you know, whatever. Nebraska sitting at number 22. Do you think they should be higher? They've shown nothing but dominance.
Nebraska's kind of tough. I'd keep them there.
Yeah.
They have a pretty. We've talked about it before, but they have a pretty easy schedule. I think the hardest game they have is at Ohio State. They might they might get up to like 7 or 8-0, especially if the quarterback's for real.
Their confidence is looking like real big
They
right now. They got a
they
lot of confidence, a lot of swag.
yeah yeah they got a lot of swagger right now, and those Nebraska fans are freaking hyped.
Exactly. So once I see that if they can take it into the Ohio State game and possibly win it off, obviously Ohio State's not going to take them too seriously. They're going to kind of look like what everybody when Colorado comes in. It's like, let's shut this team up, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I bet they got it circled on the calendar. This is like a joke to them. So let's see if it is joke. Obviously, Ohio State plays Penn State too. We kind of forgot about them because of everyone else, but this is a real weird season so far because the teams I kind of thought were going to be good are kind of falling out, and then the teams that are like I had Notre Dame, I had Florida State doing something, but Florida State switched out a ton of their players. They they had like I think 30 players come into the program brand new. And then obviously one of those is Travis Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, I think
that's
it's
gonna hurt
I
them.
know, I think you're right. I think his name's Jordan Travis, the quarterback.
Yeah, Jordan Travis, their wide receiving core. They had, defensive changes. So it was a lot of change players. This is basically a whole new team. This has nothing to do. So I don't know why people expected. I don't know why people expected Florida State to be good. Obviously, they shouldn't be this bad. They top notch recruits, but wow, wow, what a fall from grace, huh? They've never seen this
Yeah.
before.
But yeah, the other team that I like that's who I could see winning the ship is Ole Miss. Their
Wow.
schedule's not that hard, and they have all that experience. That they got all that talent.
Yeah.
And Lane Kiffin, he knows what he's doing, dude.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of these teams we were that I was all pumped on, like okay, so the best teams right now are Tennessee, uh, Texas, freaking Ole Miss, and I don't know, but those teams right there, three teams that just kind of like took over, and you said weren't really expected to do much, and now they're like taking over. So the Notre Dame, Michigan, Florida State, Penn State's kind of being overshadowed. I'm kind of like whatever for Penn State. I was so big on them. Missouri is looking really good, but they had a little stumbling block in BC. But I think BC is better than people thought or give them credit for. So I don't really,
Yeah.
yeah, they're much better.
Well,
And did you?
Tennessee's a surprising one. They've been destroying dudes.
But didn't you expect Ole Miss to be good, but not this
I
good? Not
expected
like win
I
the ship.
no, I thought they could win the ship. They've Lane Kiffin's been recruiting. They've had I think right now they're going through their best. I don't think Ole Miss has ever won 10 games ever, and they've won 10 games back to back seasons. And then he just knows what he's doing, and they have Jackson Dart. He's been looking good.
I think that defense looks good too. That's the scary thing. It's like some of these teams like Nebraska, you're like, well, this new quarterback, the defense is looking good. You got complete teams. Obviously, Ohio State's always going to have that mixture, but some of these teams that have this mixture is crazy. And
Yeah,
I don't know if Tennessee's defense is good. They haven't been tested, but they'll be tested this week, which is exciting. I can't wait for this game, bro. Tennessee,
oh,
Oklahoma,
against
all day.
Oklahoma, that's a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a lot of points, and everybody's jumping on this Tennessee bandwagon, and I might jump on it too, but I'm not giving that many points. I think Tennessee will
Yeah,
win, but I don't think Oklahoma is just some kind of they're not going to be walked over, especially at home. They got a lot of pride in that. Now, is there anything they can do about this amazing offense that Tennessee has? I don't know. I don't know,
yeah,
but
yeah, because
I'm expecting a shootout.
yeah, because yeah, Tennessee's been looking better than what I expected. Missouri, I like Missouri going into the year. Miami
Yeah.
was a little bit of a wild card. Oregon,
Miami looks really good. That's another one that's surprising.
yeah,
You hear them every year. You're like, oh, Miami's got it. Miami's got it. And then they actually got it this year. So yeah, good for them because it's good to have an exciting Miami team, I think.
yeah, because it's just like, oh, Miami's back, the U's back, and it's like, I have heard that before, and then
Yeah,
they
it's
get
like,
destroyed by some garbage team. They're like, yep,
yeah.
that sounds about right.
Do you remember
Oregon,
last year?
yeah, well, freak. Last like 10 years, it's been the same crap with Miami.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Oregon is underwhelming. They're doing what they do. I can't wait to see if they can beat someone that's because I didn't expect Oregon State to be good at all, but now they go against South Florida, so USF. Oh no, that's Miami. So Miami, Oregon is going to play UCLA. UCLA stinks. Didn't UCLA have like the number one quarterback or something like that? They had some kind of transfer.
No, remember the number one quarterback transferred to Oregon. He's the backup
What does UCLA
Gabriel.
have? My goodness, they're terrible,
Yep.
man.
Well, freak Chip Kelly left. He was a head coach. He left to be an OC at Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty bad. If you see your team is so bad, you'd rather go be the OC at another school
Then be the head
than face
coach.
what you have coming towards you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's had
and then
enough
Penn
of that.
State. Yeah, and then Penn State. They're it's the same thing every damn year. They have a great defense. They have a bunch of talent on the defense. They're rolling, and the offense just can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a shame. I don't know what they're going to do about that, but I do know. Have you seen Notre Dame opened up a can of whoop butt on Purdue? I mean, geez, if this is not the bounce back game that was so obvious to bet on, I don't know what is. Obviously, getting beat by NIU, and I'm just watching that game in my brain right now, and I would have lost so much money. I was there, I was betting live, and I was like, let me just go all in and make $200 on Notre Dame beating
Notre
NIU.
Dame, NIU. Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
that's a lock.
jeez. It was halftime. You telling me you go to a whole second half. I thought it might be that I might have picked minus 20 at that point. There's just makes no sense how they lost that game. They could not do a darn thing. So what do you think about this Notre Dame team? Are they exposed? How are they still 17? It's such a conundrum.
Notre Dame's Notre Dame, dude. They just live off their name and they do whatever they do, and they just
Should they be afraid? Because they're going to play another MAC team this next week. They're going to play Miami, Ohio. So I wonder if we're going to see what's the coach's name?
I think it's Marcus Freeman,
Yeah,
right?
Marcus
Marcus
Freeman.
Freeman.
Yeah, is he going to get scared? Goodness, he thought he was going to get fired after that game. And I don't know if you can get fired that easy at Notre Dame, but they have a lot of pride. If you struggle with this, he's going to start feeling it. The whole team looks like they're scared to play football. I mean, they did beat up on Purdue, but that doesn't mean much to me. Once they come to these games, wait, who did they beat the first week? They had a huge win, didn't they?
I don't know. They do this every year. They because they're like, oh, we're Notre Dame. We're so special. We play a bunch of
Yeah.
non-conference games, and then
Yeah.
we'll play some cupcakes here and there, and like
Oh, yeah.
I know last year they lost to some garbage teams too. They do this crap every freaking year,
Yeah.
but it's just because of their name,
Yeah.
they're like they stay relevant, even though it's like, no, you guys suck.
Yeah. I know. And Texas A&M was the team that they beat, and that's pretty impressive. But not really impressive. It's not a big year for Texas A&M, but still, just I guess this was the ultimate. I guess it's not what's that game where it's sandwich game or something like that. They just couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
You think they'd be able to run it right down their throat, but they could not move the line of NIU, and
I can't.
that's disturbing.
Yeah, I can't believe USC is at 11. I did not see them being 11.
Yeah, well, they got some talent on that team for sure. 48-0. They're not messing around. They came with this season to play. This doesn't look like a normal USC team.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when they
We
start
are
playing some Big
seeing
Ten teams.
48-0. That's pretty darn impressive. That is not how USC usually plays. They usually play down to the level of these teams.
It's Utah State. It's Utah State.
And that's what they do. Look at the way they played San Jose State last year. They let them score a ton of points.
Yeah, and they couldn't cover, and they cost me money.
They covered for me, but did Cam Rising get hurt?
He got hurt the week prior, so this past week Utah was with their backup. I don't know if he's back, but who knows with Cam Rising? That guy's always hurt.
Yeah, so they're going to play Oklahoma State, number 14, Oklahoma State. That's a really good game, and I would love to see Cam in that game because he deserves it. And
they need Cam Rising.
Gosh,
if he's not going to be in that game, then I don't see Utah winning that game.
At this point, are you kind of like, does it really matter if Cam plays? He's not going to play the whole season. Do you want to just save him?
Oh, you want to save him for the big games? This is a big game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm pretty much giving up on him. That's how I feel. I waited a whole season last year just to see him play this season. All right. I was betting on a Utah season that's going to be phenomenal. They're going to destroy. That defense is always legit, and they just need their star quarterback. They need this guy. He's fighting to get into the NFL. It's such a letdown if I'm a Utah fan. I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? Let's move on from this guy. I'm tired of him. I give up. I'm off the Cam bandwagon. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, he probably has as many kids as you have.
I would highly doubt that. I am in the baby making business, brother. But I'm like Antonio Cromartie out here. I got kids. I don't even know their birthdays. No, I'm kidding. I'm a faithful man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm done with Cam. He's done. And I'm happy to say that. Hopefully he proves me wrong, but that's what it is. Screw this guy. He's not gonna play. Let the backup play. I know they got two backups that are pretty darn good, and they got a lot of play time last year. I can't remember their names, but one's a running and one was a passing quarterback, and they went and rotated between them. So I would like to see them both get a lot of more playing time and say, you're the definitive starter for now on. Because they're showing no confidence in these guys, and they need playing time. But big game between Utah and Oklahoma State. LSU, how do you feel about them barely getting by South Carolina?
I think South Carolina was pretty good, but that LSU defense is. I'm not feeling them, dude. They're kind of lagging.
It doesn't
They,
look
they
like
have a
that.
couple of good. Yeah, usually the LSU they have like their offense kind of sucks, but their
Yeah,
defense is like elite. And then
exactly.
they have that one Perkins guy who looks really good, but besides him, it's it's just a bunch of dudes. Looks like their offense
Exactly.
is carrying them, which is like, oh, that's not what I expect from my LSU team.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't expect much to come from LSU. They look like they're going to drop out of the top 25. It's just because they're in the SEC. But I don't plan for them to be in the top 25 at the end of this year. South Carolina, on the other hand, they did have a chance to win this game. And I think they are a sleeper, dude. I like
oh,
this
they
team.
were dominating, dude. They look good. They looked fast on defense. They
They
looked
are good.
hungry.
They are
Yeah,
good.
they
They just
they
got
they
scared.
look. They kind of choked at the end, but
They choked big time.
oh yeah, if you have South Carolina on your schedule, that's I wouldn't want to play them.
No, 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 no. And I am saying bet on South Carolina, man. You want to bet on the South Carolina team. They might make the top 25 by the end of the year, but I've seen them play twice already, and I think they got a ton of potential, especially to beat spreads. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
let's see who they.
yeah, because yeah, I totally agree. I watched most of that LSU game, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh man, this South Carolina team, they could,
they
you
could
know,
cause a lot of
they don't they
damage.
yeah they don't have a bunch of scrubs on this team. This is
Hey, hold
this is a
on.
real football team.
What's up with your what's up with your freaking um Kansas Jayhawks? What's up with your Kansas Jayhawks, huh?
Well,
Don't
Kansas
don't
lost last week. It was a
Yeah,
close game.
close game my balls, bro.
Yeah, we lost to who did we lose to? It
They
was a
suck.
close game.
They suck, bro. They're
Yeah, we
they're
lost on
right back
Friday.
to where they were, and they look like they might have been top 25 material, but now it looks like they're just back to being a basketball school. This is awful. Who did they lose to? It was on
They
Thursday or Friday. I remember that. Let's see. Anyways,
Well, I know last week they lost to Illinois, and
yeah,
then
and
this
it
week
turns out Illinois is pretty good. So
they lost to what? I don't remember who they lost to. It was a close game though.
yeah, you
It
keep
was on
saying that.
Friday.
Clemson, on the other hand, they are looking at Clemson App State. They destroyed them. I thought that might be a close game because I don't expect much out of Clemson, and I do expect a lot out of App State, and they ended up destroying them. So props to Clemson. It looks like they're back. You know what I heard about? What's the guy that played there 2 years ago, and now he's over at Florida State sucking it up and got benched? What's his name?
Oh, DJ.
DJ. Yeah, I heard that when DJ was at Clemson, he was just sucking up all the energy. His dad apparently went to Clemson, and they would just suck up all the energy. And he was crowned like the next it guy, and they had to do all these things for him, and he made a lot of money, but he just is someone who sucks the air out of all the teams that he plays with. So that's very interesting to hear because it looks like that. When I went and heard that, I said, that is exactly what it looks like everywhere he plays. He is the biggest bust. If he goes to the NFL, he's already certified to be the biggest bust. That's unbelievable.
He's not going to the NFL, dude. He'd
Who do you
be
think has a
lucky to
better
get
chance?
drafted.
Cam Rising or DJ has a better chance?
Dude, I'd probably take Cam Rising, even with all the injuries, and he's an old man.
Yeah.
DJ, he has like the potential, but if he hasn't done it now, then when is he ever going to do it?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't know what he's going to do after this. He's benched, right?
Well, they play. Who do they play next? I think they play Cal next week.
Oh,
this week.
Cal's looking so good. This is not good for them. I don't have them on here because they're definitely not top 25. They dropped out. But let's wrap this up. So Texas A&M with the win over Florida, and Florida was looking pretty good.
Yeah, they're at home against Cal this week.
Oh, that looks like another loss. What is the spread there? I was just going to go into this week's college football games. So what is the spread there?
The spread is it's a 3-0 Cal versus an 0-3
oh, jeez.
Stanford.
That's a Cal team
Stanford.
with the.
It is Cal plus 2.5.
Goodness gracious.
That's
a Cal team with a win at
not at Cal, at Florida.
Oh man. You mean at at Florida State? Yeah, Florida
State. Yeah, at Florida State. 2.5.
Look at this. Check this out real quick. So odds to win the championship. What's really changed here? Maybe Texas moved up a little. Ole Miss moved up a little. You still got PSU, Penn State at 2,000. Miami moved up a lot. I don't even think they were here. Tennessee plus 1,600. That's not a bad bet. What do you think's the good money right here? What do you think, chat? Let us know if you think you got a good bet here. If you think one of these teams is odds on, value.
If I had a bet,
yes. Yeah.
Give me Ole Miss or Oregon.
Oh yeah. Wow. I will never bet Oregon to win it all. They are but they got the new head coach that brings out, that bravado or whatever you want to call it, but he brings that spunk. I don't know. I'm looking at I want to say Bama. I do like Bama. And although it's not the greatest value, I think that they're kind of being dismissed, and they have a huge game against Georgia coming up that they can win. This Georgia team is kind of underwhelming.
Well, it's at Bama.
Yeah, it's at Bama, but everybody's discounting this Bama team because they got no Nick Saban. They don't have the quarterback that's in the Dr. Pepper commercials. Everybody's just looking past Bama like they're not Bama anymore. I think they could just as well be the odds-on favorite to win this all. And
I find it kind of crazy. Utah and Clemson have the same odds. even though I'd pick Clemson, not Clemson, Utah, way over Clemson.
Well, think about it this way, because Clemson has a better chance to win their division than Utah. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Because the ACC is weak AF. Can they beat? Can
Well,
Clemson beat Miami? Yeah,
who's Utah got to beat?
Utah's got to beat a lot of people. They're in the Big 12, right?
Big 10, Big 12. Who are they going to beat?
Well, they got Kansas State, right? They got, first of all,
They're not even on this list.
Their quarterback is a huge question mark, right? Are you going to say that Cam's going to be there and they're not going to have some backup who barely knows how to tie his shoes? I mean, it's over. It's over once that happens. You're not going to beat any of these other teams. Let's see. Who else do they got?
But TCU?
TCU, not really. I guess Kansas State, right? I mean, let's check out their schedule real quick while we got them here. But they got.
Well, if you give me plus 6,000, I'll take it.
Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's in their division. We'll find out right now. And then you got an Arizona team that looks beatable, but they're good. So you got Colorado, Iowa State, which looks beatable. Iowa State doesn't look too good. They have that comeback win at Iowa. Just ridiculous. Anything can happen in that game.
Well, the Arizona game's at home.
Yeah, so they just have to get past this Oklahoma State team this week. That's a huge game. And I looked it up. It does look like Cam Rising will be playing. So he can go sit somewhere and relax and watch the rest of the games, but he has to show up for this game at Oklahoma State. They're going to be playing crazy. They're going to have, and let's go to the games of the week because I want to see what that spread is on that Utah game. Let's go over this real quick. So we got South Alabama at App State. Not interested, really. You tell me. I'll tell you the game, and then you tell me if you're interested, all right?
All right.
Stanford, Syracuse. Illinois, Nebraska. That I'm interested in. I'm interested in Illinois, Nebraska. It's -7.5 at Nebraska. That might be favoring this Nebraska team too much. But it's at Nebraska. That's exciting. That city, that state is going to shut down. They're going to shut down. They're going to get behind this team.
Well, I was watching the Nebraska-Colorado game. Or, no, they didn't play Colorado. They played Northern Iowa. And they were freaking pumped for that game.
Oh, yeah.
That stadium was going crazy. I watched, most of that game, and I was like, oh, Nebraska, they're like, we're back.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I seen that. They should put College Game Day there. That would be awesome because we haven't seen that in quite a while. What do you think about Stanford? Do you think they're good this year? Do you think they have a chance?
I think they suck.
They always have big players, though. They always have something like at the wide receiver quarterback position. They always have like these large players that are just hard to tackle. It surprises me how they get that so much. I don't understand, but we'll see. They're playing the Syracuse Orangemen, and Syracuse looks good. They're going to fly all the way over to Syracuse, -8.5. If anyone busts a spread, it's the Cardinal, and it's on Friday, so short week for them. Would you take the +8.5?
The Qs have been looking good. I'd probably pick
good.
I'd pick the orange.
Yeah. No, I can't argue with that. 8.5 is a lot, but I could see
it is a lot. I don't like the 8.5.
Giving up. You know what I mean? It's not like they're fighting for these wins. So San Jose State at Washington State. Wait, is Washington State ranked?
No.
That's a disgrace. That is a true disgrace. After all, Washington State, I hope they're disrespected. I hope they come to the San Jose State game. In fact, I'm putting that on the ticket. and I'll take the minus 12. Washington State is phenomenal. You're looking at a 3-0 San Jose State team that's not that good. They're pretty average for football teams, college football teams. I could see Washington State just airing it out. Obviously, it's a great place to play football. That field is amazing. What do you think about that game?
It's a tough game for San Jose State, dude.
Yeah, I think this will be the game where San Jose State folds. They started to fold in that Sac State game in game 1, and then they just kind of working their way through the schedule, and they had pretty good wins. So speaking of that, I saw that game against Air Force. Air Force is awful, and they can't do anything about it. They're a military school. It is what it is. Those military schools are going to go through periods where they are terrible, and they were so fun to root for the past couple of years. So I'm sad to see that. But Air Force is terrible. Bet against them. They might not win a game. But we think the Cougars will light them up over 12.
I'll go yes.
Oh, wow. What a phenomenal take by the professor. And that's why he's called the professor, because those kind of takes right there. Bravo.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh.
So let's see.
Gay, so gay.
So we got Charlotte at Indiana, Florida Gators at Mississippi State. Not really interested. We got Marshall. Oh, what was that? Is that you back, Professor?
That was not me, but damn, Marshall's fucking 40 points. Jesus Christ.
40 points, and it's not enough. Okay, look, it opened at 1.5, it says. Or does that say the over?
No, it opened at 39.5.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. But it says 51.5 is the over. Plus 40. I think I'm taking the minus 40. I think I'm probably going the first half, right? First half, whatever it is, it's probably like 20 something,
Yeah, I would assume so. If I'm going to bet on this game, it's
30.
It's when the starters are on and they're going to be rolling. And Ohio State usually they blow out teams in the first half and then they put on the bench.
That's your play. Your play is that. But so NC State at Clemson, this is actually a pretty interesting game because Clemson 1-1, but they're ranked. Are they really that good? NC State been a huge disappointment, but they are sitting at 2-1, so you got to feel happy about that. But they've been very underwhelming as what they were supposed to be. What did they have? They just got a quarterback, and their front line was supposed to be really good defensively. But 20.5, I think, is a little much. We're really looking at this Clemson team like destroying App State was something fantastic. I don't think so. James Madison at North Carolina. North Carolina's kind of being undervalued here.
I don't know who their quarterback is.
Their quarterback, I mean, I watched that first game against Minnesota, and it looked like he was pretty darn good, and he felt like he knew what he was doing. He's a running quarterback, but he knew what he was doing, and he made that Minnesota defense look like Swiss cheese. Now, James Madison, they usually like to air it out. They're sitting at 2-0, but I haven't seen anything from them. The thing I like about North Carolina is those two defensive ends were NFL caliber. It was scary, bro. They're coming off those edges, and they're phenomenal. So I think that's going to be where you see the difference. So they can cover this 10.5. I'm not taking it, but because James Madison is always a good team. Houston Cougars and Cincinnati Bearcats. Anything you like that or no?
Where'd you get that from?
Oh, what did I say? I did say something different.
Said Houston.
What did I say? Yeah, right here. Houston at Cincinnati. Isn't that on the screen?
Now it is.
Oh, okay. So you're just trying to gaslight me. Well,
no, it wasn't before. I had I had like the Pittsburgh game. The Pitt
Oh, interesting. Well, let's see. What is there anything you like about that game, or is it kind of whatever? I like this Bearcats team, but I just haven't seen them enough to bet on it.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't seen them much. I do like. I do like. I am a big Tulane fan.
I
And
know.
I'm looking one game below.
Yeah, but they look terrible, man. They do not look like Tulane teams of old. They're usually so much fun to watch, but maybe they lost some offensive linemen, and it kind of shows. Plus, they lost that quarterback. Isn't he playing in the NFL? Or was that like 2 years ago?
Probably a couple of years ago, but they lost to I think it was like Oklahoma and like another good team. You know, they're playing above their pay scale.
Wait, I don't think Oklahoma's that good, to be honest. So I'm actually counting that against Tulane. I expect them to play better. They play so good against teams like Tulane and so on. So it's very disappointing to see them get their butts whooped. And also,
they get their butts kicked. They lost a close game.
I watched that game and it looked like they got their butts kicked. There was no time where I thought Tulane was going to win that game. It was very boring. So you can say what you want. You can live in fantasy land, delusion world, whatever you want. But your Kansas Jayhawks, will they get back in the win column against the West Virginia Mountaineers? This seems like an even game. Sitting at 2.5, just the home field advantage, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm picking Kansas, dude. I'm a big Kansas fan, and I saw West Virginia. They lost to they choked against Pittsburgh last week. They were up.
Yeah.
They were up double digits with like 5 minutes left, and they lost the game.
We know you can't resist a Kansas Jayhawk team. You got a Hawk Tua on them. So I'm just going to skip over that. You're going to take the 2.5.
Spit on that thing. I'm going to spit on that thing.
So Rice Owls versus the Army Black Knights. Let's just skip over that. Ohio at Kentucky. I like this Kentucky team, but 20 points maybe too much. Ball State, Central Michigan, Chippewas. Love the Chippewas, but I'm going to stay away. I'm going to wait till Tuesday nights when they have some machination. And then Virginia at Coastal Carolina. I like this Virginia team. I think it really sucks that it's minus 3.5 on the road. I haven't seen Coastal Carolina, but I really like this Virginia team. They are undervalued, and they have a really good team. They're bringing back a ton of talent, ton of starters, and they got a quarterback who's really good. So I think you got to take them on the money line. Screw that. It's going on my card, money line minus 185. Screw you. Remember that, Virginia. I'm calling it.
You like Virginia?
I do like Virginia until they prove me wrong. They're undervalued. I like that they lost the first game of the season because that kind of leaves them a little more undervalued for a little longer. And so Iowa State at home against Arkansas Red Wolves. Minus 22.
I hate Arkansas State.
Yeah, well, that's from years ago. Let it go. Let it go, brother.
No, I still hold grudges.
No, you can't.
Not gonna believe it. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a miracle if they would have covered the freaking 20-something points.
Yeah, no, well, they didn't. They tried very, very hard to lose that game.
Lose it for me, yeah.
Literally dropping balls.
Yeah, I am not an Arkansas State fan.
Yeah, let it go. Utah State at Temple, forget it. The Razorbacks at Auburn. Who knows what to expect from these two teams? That seems like just a fun game for the fans.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick freaking Arkansas.
+3, why not? Why not, dude? It's gonna be a low-scoring game, and it's gonna be a lot of injuries. A lot of bloody SEC football. This is going to be a brutal match between these two teams. A lot of fun to watch. Kind of boring if you're not an SEC fan, but if you want to see what football is, watch that game. They're just going to hit each other just for the fun of it. Southern Miss at Jacksonville State. Yeah. UCLA at LSU. Ugh, disgusting. I can't pick a team in that because I could see LSU just ruin it. USC at Michigan.
USC at
That's a
Michigan.
fun.
That's a good game.
Where did that come from, man? Holy smokes!
I'd probably pick
Don't say it.
freaking.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh my goodness, you're gonna say it. Go ahead. I can't believe
I'm
you.
picking USC, dude.
Oh man, this guy from nothing to I love you USC. Wow, you are unbelievable, man. I cannot believe you. So you're jumping on the USC bandwagon from the beginning of the season. They have converted you.
I'm not Michigan.
I knew this was going to happen.
I'm not jumping on their bandwagon. It's just Michigan's just they let me down, dude.
Well, they didn't let you down. That Texas team is phenomenal. What do you think would happen if USC played Texas? Come on. What do you mean
Yeah,
they let you down?
Then they played Fresno and they let me down.
Let you down. They won the game. They played Michigan football. They played Michigan football. They ugly and they did what they do. Granted, it was in Michigan, but you got a fresh Fresno State team who's not too bad. They played their hearts out and they were healthy. You know, you got the best Fresno State team you're going to get. Michigan kind of filling it out and seeing what they got. You know, I'm not going to hold it against them. Now, this will be fun because we're going to get to see a Michigan defense that is strong, play USC Trojan offense that's pretty strong, got those phenomenal wide receivers. So this will be fun to see who can play because you saw them get cut up by Texas, but I don't think USC is like how far away is USC's offense from Texas? How many levels down? It's got to be like only one level.
Oh, I think USC's way. I think Texas they're way better.
Well, obviously they're the cream of the crop. It's Texas and Tennessee when it comes to offense, right? Maybe Ole Miss. And then after that, you got the USCs of the world, right? Or no? I guess you just
yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, it's not too far down. Obviously, they're ranked. They had a heck of a game against I can't remember who. What was it? Florida State? I don't remember. Anyways, let's move on. So, what are you taking? You're taking the -5 with USC at 12:30. They're going out.
Where's that at? Is it at
Michigan? Michigan.
Is it at Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I'll take the points.
That's not easy. I would take
or
the points.
I'll give the points.
Ooh, I would take the points. I'm taking the points. So we disagree on that one. What do you guys think in the chat? You taking the points with USC or you're you're giving the points with USC or you're taking the points with Michigan? Let us know what you think in the chat. I think Michigan is going to do what they do. They were running liners and bleachers and all kinds of things all week, and they're going to come out and they're going to be angry because they were humiliated. They're coming home. We're going to see a Michigan team that's, second, third, fourth in their conference. So whatever. Kent State at Penn State. I just want real quick. Are you -49?
Great. 49. Right. Away.
Kent State's horrible. They I watched them play against, I can't remember, but it wasn't even a Division I school. And it was like one of these teams like Incarnate Word, and they got destroyed. They got destroyed by double digits. I can't remember who they played. I was watching the game. They're just awful, dude. They're sitting at 0-3, going to Penn State.
50 points, though, dude. That's a lot.
Penn State has a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove. I don't know if they prove it this week, but I think just on accident they'll score touchdowns just running it. I wish I could remember the team that they played, but it was terrible. So Rutgers at Virginia Tech, we'll skip over that. Miami at Notre Dame, -28. I'm not touching this Notre Dame team, especially against the MAC team. Georgia Tech at Louisville. I don't know about that. That's interesting. Arizona State, Texas Tech. Wow, Arizona State's 3-0. Yeah, that's very interesting. Arizona State is 3-0. Do you got any takes on Arizona State? Do you like Arizona State? Have you seen any of their games? Not me.
I'm sorry, but my
No worries,
connection.
no worries. Yeah, you're back.
So, what'd you ask me?
Arizona State. Have you seen any of their games?
Arizona State. I don't think I
They're
have.
sitting
No.
at 3-0, bro. That's pretty impressive. I don't know who they beat.
Yeah.
So they beat Wyoming 48-7. Mississippi State, that's a huge win. SEC team 30-23 at home. And then they barely got past Texas State. As I remember, I think Texas State was winning that game and they came back. So pretty impressive. And now they're going to Texas State. So they're going to stay in Texas. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if that makes a difference to you.
So they should win that game easily then. So they should be 4-0.
Yeah, well, they're going to play Texas Tech. I mean, Texas Tech is good. And Texas Tech lost to Washington State, right? I believe so, earlier in the season. So that's their only loss.
So they're 3-point.
Yeah, 3-point favorites at home. The Red Raiders. Let's see. What else? Let's go down this really quick because there's a ton of games. Buffalo, Duke, Middle Tennessee, Utah at Oklahoma State is -2.5. So you're only getting the home field advantage. Which way are you going?
Oof.
I'm gonna take Utah because what's his name is playing. We talked about this game a lot already. I have no respect for Oklahoma State. Yeah, Cam's playing.
If Cam's playing, I'll pick Utah. But if he's not, I'm going Oklahoma State.
Cam's playing. I'm telling you.
I don't know. With that guy, it's like 50-50.
Exactly. It is. Well, he might get hurt halfway through the game, so you can't even bet on the game. But those backups better be ready. So Vanderbilt, they lost to they finally got a loss, and it was against a bad school, Georgia State. So they've come back to reality, and they're Vanderbilt. They're too bad because I wish they were coming into this game 3-0 so I could bet on Missouri, but you're only getting 21 with Missouri. TCU at SMU. We got your Liberty is only -6 point favorites against ECU. That's interesting.
Now, ECU, they looked pretty good this past week.
But you're predicting Liberty wins all their games, so maybe money line is the way to bet this one.
Yes, I think they go undefeated.
Yeah. So that might be a good bet. Throw them on the ticket for the Liberty home win. The Liberty Flames, Northwestern at Washington. I don't know what to make of Washington team, so I'm not going to do anything. And Northwestern looks darn good. If anything, you got to lean towards Northwestern. Even though they're a garbage school for football, they look good this year. Cal at Florida State.
Cal versus Florida State.
You got to take the plus 2.5. Holy smokes. How are they getting?
I'll take the points, man. Jesus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Game over. We have our pick of the week. And I did not think. I thought Cal would be the favorite.
Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang!
That's insane. How is Cal plus 2.5? If that's not going to change, that's got to change. I mean, obviously, Florida State's going to be home, and they're dying for a win. And Cal, not much of a football school. Do they really care? Cal and Stanford both going east. But, man, I don't know if they get this win. They're going to be very scared to lose this game.
Well,
do you think the coach gets fired if they go 4?
No, well, I think if they fire him, they have to pay him like 60-something million.
It's one of those prideful schools. This is not a Cal or a Stanford.
Well, they're in the same division now, so
I don't give a crap.
It's
I'm saying it's not that the school is not going to change because they're in a different division. Cal and Stanford will never take football seriously.
No, but you can't fire a dude and then give him $60 million to leave.
I've seen it happen before. Didn't they do that?
I'd rather, you could do it, but like, if I'm gonna fire you, at least work for me. Then you gotta hire another coach. I'm not gonna pay you $60 million just to hang out your couch and chill.
Those boosters are going to be very, very pissed if they lose this game, if they're not already.
Oh, if they lose to Cal? Oh, yeah. But I guess at worst you could be like, hey, we were undefeated last year and we would have made the playoff, but our quarterback got hurt. I guess you have that out.
Yeah. I guess how long can you live off of that? So Miami South Florida, we got 16.5. I wouldn't bet on this Miami team yet, even though I really like them. I'm not betting 16.5 on the road. I still have a taste in my mouth from old Miami teams. Tulsa at Louisiana Tech, New Mexico State at Sam Houston, Toledo at my Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Let's go Hilltoppers. Hopefully they can pull it off at home.
Plus 2.5. Then we got Tennessee at Oklahoma. 7 points on the road.
Yeah, game of the week. Maybe. Game of the week. I think that's the game of the week, right?
Oh, it is the game of the week. If I had to bet it, I'm buying Tennessee, dude.
Man. Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't think Oklahoma's for real. And I mean, obviously the odds makers say that they're not for real as well, but everybody's jumping on this Tennessee bandwagon. It just gives me a bad taste. I don't want to be on the bandwagon side.
Public?
Yeah. But I do believe this Tennessee team, it looks better than what's his name?
Joe Milton.
Yeah, Milton. It looks better than the Milton years. In fact, I feel like I'm watching Joe Milton out there. It's just weird. I'm hoping Milton gets playing time with the Patriots.
No, it wasn't Joe Milton. It was Hendon Hooker.
Hooker, yeah.
Hooker.
I was thinking,
Hendon Hooker. It looks better with right now with the Nico, whatever it is. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, just say Nico. Yeah, but yeah, this thing is all twisted and all the you saw that short that I made. It's like all the odds. Tennessee has never been this much of a favorite on the road, and Oklahoma's never been this much of a dog at home. So, I mean, in a top 25 game since like 1978, it's all twisted. The odds are really off, and this is an unusual, unique situation. So, will we see it as something you can take advantage of, or is this just a different Tennessee team? I don't know. Wyoming, North Texas, Bowling Green, Texas A&M, Akron at South Carolina. So here's your chance. 28's too much. So obviously they're not being undervalued. They could easily cover that. Maybe a 10-point teaser or something.
Iowa at Minnesota. Geez, 2.5.
You got to think Iowa's going to. What the heck is Iowa doing? Didn't they put up like 50 points last week? They destroyed the team that they played. Right?
Yeah, but they're Iowa. I always get scared with them.
It's just nice to see them put up points. So 38-21 against Troy. So Troy's not a terrible team, but I don't care. 38 points from an Iowa team, that's a good sign. That's a good sign right there. And Minnesota, they're Minnesota. They're going to play. It's the same team, but Iowa's better. That's it. The kicker for Minnesota is awful. So in a field goal game, give me Iowa all day. That's my take. Your Ole Miss against Georgia Southern, UL Monroe, Texas Longhorns, 44.5. That might be one you want to take. I think you take 44.5. The backups are just as good for the Longhorns as they are the starters, obviously. Even the backup for Arch Manning is supposed to be really good. So Michigan State at Boston at BC. BC's really good. Michigan State sitting at 3-0, so I'll stay away. Even though I do like I do like Boston College. -6.5. The 2-1 team against the 3-0 team. Is that kind of weird?
Oh, the Boston College one.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. The 3-0 Michigan State Spartans. They played some good teams against Boston College, who looks like they're really good. But they're sitting at 2-1, 6.5. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'd probably just stay away from that one.
Yeah, that's probably a stay away. I don't know what the odds makers are thinking, but we'll see. Baylor Bears at the Colorado Buffaloes. This Colorado team has seemed like not so much.
Yeah, they kind of sucked it up, but it's at Colorado, and I can't say I watch much of Baylor games.
Yeah, I watch more WAC or not WAC.
Mountain West.
Mountain West. How do you call that? MW. They should have stayed with the WAC. That's so much easier. But the
MW,
West,
I guess it's MW.
That's garbage. So I watch more MAC. I watch more Mountain West. I watch more. I guess that's it. More than I watch Big 12. Or is it Big 10?
Big
What's
12,
Baylor in?
Big 12. The Big 12,
Big 12.
I watch probably like one or two games. It's usually SEC, a lot of MAC, a lot of Mountain West, and then whatever the Pac-2 is. That's usually what I
was just going to say that. I watch more Washington State games. But to finish off the day, we got Fresno State at New Mexico. Any take on that? Are you drinking?
They suck.
Yeah, are you drinking the Kool-Aid for Fresno State, though? They did go to Michigan and put up a heck of a fight. So to go to New Mexico, it's not going to be very difficult for them, but 15. So the 2 touchdowns, that's tough.
It's just a lot of points, but they suck.
Yeah. They got lost to Montana State, who's good. Look, these are good teams. I don't know if you can say how bad New Mexico State is if Auburn, Arizona, and then Montana State. It's not really – they're not really it's not a cupcake schedule like they did terrible things. So they might be much better at home and might be able to get a back door.
Yeah, they suck. I've watched them live. They're not the greatest team, even though they won. When I watched them live, they aren't the greatest.
Ooh. So Fresno State skunked New Mexico State at home. So, wow, that's impressive. And New Mexico State is better, I thought.
They're on the same. They're on the same level. Well, the New Mexico State quarterback, he left New Mexico State and he went to Vanderbilt.
And he did pretty well there so far. But what were you gonna? So Purdue against Oregon State. That's interesting. They both kind of like underwhelming teams. K State at BYU. So K State obviously is, after losing Will Howard, they still look like they're very good, and they're BYU. I don't know what to make of them. They're usually very good at home, but I didn't expect them to be here.
Yeah, well, Kansas State, they destroyed their freaking. They destroyed Arizona last week, and that one quarterback they have now, he's a sophomore.
Yeah,
he's like a running quarterback, the white dude.
Okay,
he looked pretty freaking good when I watched the game on Friday.
Yeah, and I watched some BYU, and I didn't think anything was too good. In fact, it looked like they kind of took a step back. But they won the game, but it didn't look like I saw anything that was too impressive. And you got the look ahead for Georgia, Bama, and Georgia with -2.5. I might jump on that right away because that's not going to go Bama's way at all.
You don't think you get more points for Bama?
I think the smart money is going to go on Bama.
because 2.5 is kind of garbage. Either,
Yeah.
you know.
You got the home field advantage and the week off. I think the smart money is going to go on Bama. Every time they play this game, and it's important to Bama, Bama wins. Who's better, Carson Beck or Monroe?
I like Milroe's where he's like a double threat, you know?
Yeah. He is double threat. Carson Beck has a heck of an arm, but I don't see him as a generational quarterback. Do you?
Well, they're saying he's like, oh, he might be a top 5 pick, and look at him like he doesn't look like a top 5 pick to me.
Yeah.
He just looks like an average. Oh yeah, he's just an average quarterback. Whatever.
Exactly.
That's fine, you know.
Yeah. No, that is not something that I'm like crazy about going to the NFL. Is he going to get drafted first? No, I don't see that happening. He'll be first round.
Yeah, even then, it'll be like if like my team drafted, like, oh, we drafted Beck in the first round, I'd be like, ugh.
Well, you'd be like, let's see what happens. You wouldn't be like, oh, come on.
I wouldn't be a big fan, especially if it was like top 10. Like, oh, we could have had this or that guy. Like, I guess I'd be more excited if he drafted Milroe, even though I don't think he's an NFL QB, just because I'm like, oh, he can run, he's got a strong arm, you know, the potential.
Yeah.